Have you ever seen a man who built an empire but slept with no ego? A man born into unimaginable wealth, yet chose simplicity over luxury? What if I told you the person behind India's most trusted car once walked away from America's biggest boardrooms, only to return and change the course of history? You're watching Inspiring India series, where we unfold the untold stories of legends who made our nation proud, not through power, but through purpose. And today, we are not just telling you a story about business, we are inviting you to witness a life of courage, silence, scars, and soul. In 1937, in the bustling heart of Bombay, a child was born into India's most respected business dynasty, the Tata family. But this was no fairy tale. Before Ratan could even understand what empire meant, life had already shaken his world. His parents divorced when he was just 10. In a society where broken families were taboo, he quietly carried the weight of that pain. He was raised by his grandmother, Lady Nawajbai Tata, a woman of grace and discipline, who instilled in him values that would later shape the destiny of millions. While his name granted him legacy, his childhood gave him character. Most expected Ratan to be groomed in boardrooms. Instead, he chose blueprints over brands. He studied architecture at Cornell University, not business. He drove himself to lectures, cooked his own meals, and lived like a regular student in America. But when his dream relationship fell apart, because the girl's family refused to let her move to India, he made a choice. Love or responsibility? He chose India. He chose duty. Upon returning, he didn't walk into an air-conditioned office. He started at the very bottom, working on the shop floors of Tata Steel, sweating, lifting tools, eating with workers, living with dignity. Many mocked him. Why would a Tata dirty his hands in grease? But he smiled. Because true leaders don't command from cabins. They lead from the ground. When J.R.D. Tata stepped down in 1991, he named Ratan his successor. But the empire he inherited wasn't shining gold. It was fragmented, aging, and filled with internal resistance. Almost 90 companies, each run independently. No synergy. No unity. And worst of all, no faith in Ratan Tata. Senior executives rebelled. They whispered, "He's too soft. Too quiet. He doesn't have what it takes." Some of his closest colleagues turned their backs. Boardroom betrayals became daily routine. Media doubted him. Investors dismissed him. But he didn't raise his voice. He raised his vision. Over the next decade, Ratan Tata restructured the group from the inside out. He consolidated hundreds of businesses into a unified brand, Tata Group. And he did the unthinkable. He dared to take Tata global. Under his leadership, the group acquired Tetley Tea, UK, Koru Steel, Europe, and in a masterstroke, Jaguar Land Rover, rescuing two British icons from bankruptcy. It shocked the world. It silenced critics. And yet, he remained humble. But the story that truly defines his heart is the Nano. One rainy day, Ratan Tata saw a family of four, a father, mother, and two children, all squeezed onto a scooter, drenched, shivering, yet hopeful. And he thought, a family like this deserves safety, not sympathy. And so began the dream of the Tata Nano. The world's cheapest car, not made for profit, but made for people. Engineers said it was impossible. Competitors laughed. Even Tata's own team feared financial failure. But he persisted. And when the Nano rolled out in 2009, it became a symbol of compassion-driven innovation. Behind all this glory was a man who walked alone. He fell in love, once, deeply. But when duty called, he let go of the only woman he ever wanted to marry. Not because he didn't believe in love, but because he couldn't be half-hearted in anything, not in business, not in relationships. His personal life became a space of silence. But he filled it with purpose. When Mumbai bled during the 26/11 attacks, Ratan Tata didn't send press releases. He didn't arrive in convoys. He walked silently through the corridors of the attacked Taj Hotel, not as a chairman, but as a fellow Indian. He comforted victims, met employees' families, paid salaries of the deceased for life. No camera, no publicity. Because some leaders don't need the spotlight, they are the light. He lived in a modest house, drove his own car, and spent his days mentoring young Indian entrepreneurs through the Tata Trusts and his investment fund R&T Associates. He said little, but gave much, and the nation watched with gratitude. On 9th October 2024, India woke up to a heavy silence. Ratan Naval Tata passed away at the age of 86 in Mumbai's Breach Candy Hospital. There were no lavish ceremonies, no dramatic farewells, only love, only respect. The governments of Maharashtra and Jharkhand declared state mourning. He was cremated with full state honors at Mumbai's Worli crematorium. This is not just a story, it's a reminder that in a world chasing noise, there once lived a man of silence, of service, of soul, Ratan Naval Tata, gone from our sight, but forever etched in the heart of India. Ratan Tata never aimed to become the richest man in India, and he didn't. But what he earned was far more rare. Respect. Respect that can't be bought. Respect that comes from walking the talk, from leading with love, and from giving, even when no one's watching. So the next time someone tells you, you need to shout to be seen, tell them this story of a man who walked through storms silently and left behind a legacy louder than thunder. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that greatness isn't about noise, but about values, then I invite you to be part of this journey. Subscribe to Learninza, because here, we don't just celebrate success, we honor the soul behind it. Drop a comment below, whose story should we tell next? Until next time, walk with grace, dream with courage, and serve with heart. Jai Hind.